and all present here, and a very warm welcome to the university faculties, PhD students, PhD scholars, and participants through offline and online mode to the Dean SPGS Endowment Lecture organized by the Department of Agronomy, ACNRI Madurai. The scheduled program will start with Tamilthai Valthu. I invite Dr. Durai Singh, Professor and Head, Department of Agronomy, ACNRI Madurai, to deliver the welcome address and to introduce the speaker.
Good evening to one and all. So on this pleasant evening, so on behalf of the Agriculture College and Research Institute Madurai and the Department of Agronomy, so we have arranged for this endowment lecture, so which is now being introduced in this Tamil Nadu Agriculture University under our guidance of our Vice Chancellor, Honorable Vice Chancellor, so that the students would get awareness of all the activities which are all taking place in the globe, so that they will be exposed on every Friday. So this has been planned such that in the curriculum, every Friday evening, we have this endowment lecture on various aspects of agricultural sciences, so that all the agriculture graduates gets a very good idea and an eye opener on all the latest trends happening in agriculture. So on this day, so we are having the challenges and prospects of cotton cultivation in India. So we are hearing, we have our guest speaker, so Dr. Suresh S. Hallikeri. So he is an eminent agronomist. So he has worked more than 20 years specialized in cotton. So in the All India Coordinator projects in cotton. And then he has very good rich agronomical experience in the cotton. And he has contributed major technologies specifically related to cotton. And he is from the University of Agriculture Science, Dharwad, and presently he is working as a principal scientist agronomy at the Agricultural Research Station, Dharwad Farm. So very specialized in cotton. So just we want to have because every speaker, everywhere we are now going in concentration about the crop yield, mostly for our food purpose. So we need to focus for the coming years in the 250, we are going to have a population of 9 billion. So our first importance is for food, and then clothing and shelter. So which all these three is being provided by the agriculture. So we all should be proud that we are all agricultural graduates, and then we are having this basic aspect for all the human beings. So we are supplying food, shelter, and also the clothing. So wherein we come into the cotton, because wherein we are also taught a lot about the food production and improving the food production. So this fiber crop is of an ancient origin. So it has been reported in the 13th century itself, cotton. So which has been used by all our primitive peoples for their clothing, cotton, primitive cotton. And it is one of the oldest fiber crop. And then very predominantly when we have to Tamil Nadu, so the Gossypium herbaceum. So we have the variety Uppam. So which is very particular for the southern coastal areas. Uppam means it comes from the Tamil word, because when the cotton absorbs moisture, it bulges. So it has come the word Uppam. And also it has the name also Ukkan, which is being originated from the Udumalpatti area. So we have the 13th century, this, and then however we have this origin from 13th century. Turkey, actually it is ranking first in the cotton production. So they are having an average of 1,170 kg per hectare, which is very far, we are very far below this average. So ours Indian average is majorly only nearly 400 kg. But in Turkey, they are the leading center. We are having nearly 1,170 kg per hectare. But there is a huge requirement for India. There is an expected more than 250 bales of cotton is be the requirement for the next coming up years. So wherein we need to have more focus on cotton, and for this younger generation, I think this should be a right title, because it's an ample chances for the cotton production and productivity. And as far as, because the doctors will be dealing about all the overall Indian aspect, and as far as Tamil Nadu is concerned, our major market is the Tirupur market. So nearly 30% of the cotton produced in India goes to Tirupur market. So Tirupur actually is very famous near Coimbatore, sir. So which is very famous for all our spinning mills and others. Tirupur. So you also heard about that. So major area comes there then. And then Tamil Nadu have the highest, as far as India is concerned, Tamil Nadu is the highest in the productivity of lint. So they have an average of 797 kg per hectare. Out of Tamil Nadu, India is concerned, Tamil Nadu ranks first in the productivity. And then we have bulk, the major drawback which the farmers face majorly is they need to store it becomes a bulk quantity. It is going to be a rice 5 tons. It can be stored very easily in this room. But cotton, when it comes, because of its mass and the huge volume, the storage, this makes the farmers to immediately to market it. So that is also an important. And major districts in Tamil Nadu, we have the productivity as in Tirchi and followed by Salem. So in this nutshell, we have a very good topic on cotton scenario. So which Dr. Suresh Hallikeri will be dealing with this. So on behalf of our Agriculture College and Research Institute, I wholeheartedly welcome Dr. Hallikeri.
Hello. Good afternoon, everybody. Please come and take your seats. Firstly, I should thank the HOD, Dr. Dorai Singh and Dr. Raghavan for calling me for this endowment lecture. And at the same time, I entered your campus when you are all celebrating with the festival. And today also you all decorated with very new traditional dresses. And I'm very happy that I entered in a very right time to see all your enjoyments. Okay. And fortunately, I also visited the same time and without any wish, I could able to understand your enjoyments here. Thank you for all. Okay. And coming to, I am Dr. Hallikeri. I am working as an agronomist for the last 4 years in cotton. And previously, I worked 15 years in cotton and about 5 years in maize research and sugarcane research. So for the last 4 years, I'm working as a cotton head under AICRP program at Agriculture Research Station, Dharwad Farm. Dharwad is about 4 or 5 kilometers from the main campus. And this specialty of this farm is that we have exclusively cotton research for the last more than 45-50 years. And I think you might have heard about the DCH cotton. DCH cotton in the entire world, it was first released from our station. And all renowned scientists of the cotton is from our station only. And I'm fortunate that I'm working as a head of that such a very big station. Okay. And coming to the today's endowment topic, so I will not take more time and I will just pass on the slides, and whatever the inference of the tables, I will just give you, and the research outcome only. Okay. And just you can just see that today's my topic, I concentrate on the recent agronomic research and the problems associated with the cotton production, and and very importantly the researchable issues, because all your PG students and there are many PhD students also, you may have to concentrate on researchable areas on cotton. So that is, and some people, Dr. Ravan told that this color cotton is also an interesting topic. I wanted to initiate. That's why I have brought some slides on color cotton also. Okay. See, this is a one, the two cotton plants where you can see the one which we have very robust cotton. Robust cotton means that is spread on either side of the rows and plant to plant. Earlier option was that we wanted to grow a robust cotton and earn more money. Now the cotton is concentrating, the world is concentrating on the compact cotton. Compact cotton nowadays, and even in China and even in America, they are concentrating on high density planting with the compact types, wherein they fit more than 1 lakh or 1.5 lakh or 2 lakhs population per hectare, and they grow even up to 60 to 80 quintals per hectare of cotton kapas. And today we have a very low productivity in the country, though we are producing a very good under irrigated conditions. Because of the larger area under the rainfed cotton, we could not able to reach the world average. Only the average cotton of our country is 400 kg per hectare. Lint cotton, not the kapas, it's the lint cotton. And our objective is to reach a very high productivity by this high density planting. High density planting, I will just tell you the concept of high density planting and to what extent we have reached in this high density planting, and the same how we could able to reach in the future also. Some ideas I would like to give you, because you all you are agronomist and you are going to some of you may go to cotton research also in the future. Okay, just see the difference between the two cotton. So this is a very famous figure wherein our nation father of the nation Gandhi, when he is in front of the charka and we all followed him, and this charka is nothing but the food for the poor men of this country when we have achieved our freedom for this country. And that cotton only, the everybody is gearing towards the global leadership because of the cotton. And today cotton, only the leaders of the country, they followed the father of the nation. That is why we could able to reach so much of potentiality in the cotton production in the whole world. So see what did the world wear for about 5,000 years ago? 5,000 years ago, see, when there is no cotton in the entire world, we could not. We have nothing. And for the Egypt and South Europe, the flax was the major source of textile. And for the West Asia and North Europe, the wool from the sheep and goats, that was the source. And for the China, it's a silk they have used for about 5,000 years. And for India only, we have the India and the Indian cotton. What we felt about 5,000 years ago is the Deshi cotton. It is the Deshi cotton or the herbaceous cotton or the arboreum cotton. We have about 5,000 years back also. We have this cotton in our India. So coming to the statistics of the country where we are standing, the total the area of the country is divided into three parts. Northern zone consists of the Punjab, Haryana, and Rajasthan, and the central zone Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, and Maharashtra. And in the southern zone we have Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and Odisha. So among that we have nearly the major portion of the country's product area is coming in Gujarat and Maharashtra, followed by Telangana. And fortunately the area from 21-22 onwards, it is declining trend in the country. Even for some of the states, it is showing a declining trend because of the certain new problems that is coming in the cotton production. So this is the production in the coming to the production. The same in the central zone of Gujarat and Maharashtra, we have the higher production zones, and followed by Telangana, which is having the highest in southern zone. So the production in the last 5 years for the total country is concerned, from 21-22 onwards, there is showing a declining trend. There are many problems arising, especially after the release of this BT cotton in the year of 2002. See, whatever the problems we have in the country, it was suddenly solved. For next 10 years, we could be able to grow the cotton in an increasing trend even up to 2015. Only in the year of 2015, when the the problems arised in, especially in Gujarat and Rajasthan. See, there was a rampant problems, and the productivity were come down and the area come down, and suddenly the total production of the country it has affected because of the some only two pests. One is the pink bollworm and merit bugs. These two pests, they have totally devastated the present scenario of the cotton. Because of that, the productivity and the interest of the farmer is reduced because of reduced income level in the cotton. And the state-wise productivity, it is 2000 from 1918 to 22. See, we have these are the latest figures. Earlier in the northern zone, Punjab was the highest productivity, and this recently it is shifted to the Gujarat and Andhra Pradesh. And as sir told that Tamil Nadu, it was having only 388 kg per hectare. And I don't know, the statistics is from the project coordinator office, and I have just this is very recent figures. Maybe that we have to check the figures again. I don't know. Maybe the total country's productivity is around 439 kg, or it is around 400 kg per hectare. It is a lint cotton, not the kapas cotton, lint cotton. So the world scenario, when we look at the world scenario, it is the highest area is from India, and India is the highest growing country in the world, and it is followed by the China and America. These are the another next. But when it is going to the total production, China and India stands the highest. China is especially because of its highest productivity range, and it could able to produce with a even just 25%, less than 25% of the area of the India, it could able to achieve the total yield. So, and the total the world average is around 750, and we our Indian averages are just 400 kg, and we need to work very hard to reach, especially to at least to increase our productivity. We should work hard for getting the higher yields. So this is a very important scenario, because see where we are actually standing in the whole world, and what are the remedies for that. I think we can solve at our local level and at our state level also. So we'll just see the very recent research, agronomic research conducted at our different centers of ASRP in the country. So just I will give the some inferences of the research. See, one such study was on nitrogen use efficiency in cotton. We see this nitrogen is one of the very important nutrient that is taking an important role in the production of the cotton. So this how to increase this N use efficiency, that was the challenge, and we have planned in ASRP with these all treatments, the T1, T2, T3. When we look at these all treatments, see, we have made it the no nitrogen to 100% nitrogen. See, the efficiency of any nutrient application, it depends on the application rates and method of application, split application, foliar applications. All these components will fit, and incorporating all these into this trial, especially they are very interesting data is enumerated. See, from T1 to T2, there is a significant reduction when there is no nitrogen applied. So when we reduced to 25% nitrogen, so there is a significant reduce in the cotton yield. But when we changed the pattern of application, increasing the N use efficiency, again we could able to increase the yield from 75% with spot applications. And the spot applications, we have increased the 4 splits, and foliar applications in the T6, and all those T4, T5, T6 and T7, they were on par. See, like that, but the nitrogen use efficiency, when you see the nitrogen use efficiency, means the productivity kg kapas that is produced per kilograms of nitrogen from T3, T4, T5, it was serially increased. When you see these figures, it is serially increased, but they are all on statistically on par. So here, what is the inference is that you can reduce the levels of nitrogen, but you can increase the efficiency by method of application, split application, foliar application also. That was the concept here. And again, see the N-use efficiency contributions from each methodology. We have calculated the contribution of each methodology. What is the no N versus nitrogen 100% N? So the yield was declining. It's a very high level contribution from this nitrogen. Net loss due to 25% N, and the spot application we have 117 kg. And we have foliar application is a major contribution. And the net loss due to 25% N and the split applications, their contributions are very meager. That is the inference of this. And again, the in situ incorporation, when we grow these sunhemp in between the rows of cotton and it is incorporated, there is no much difference in the yield, but we have an additional advantage of soil properties. Soil properties, there is an advantage. So that is why this is with respect to the N-use efficiency. When you see the highest N-use efficiency, the difference was with N application rates. And coming to the net returns, after all, we are depending on the total net returns. The pooled mean of the 3 years, it also shows that these T4, T5, T6, and T7, they were showing almost on par in their net returns. And again, the cost benefit ratio, again, it is the same one, which is almost on par with the T2, which is recommended practice. Again, when you see the N-use efficiency for the net returns and BC ratio, the contribution of this nitrogen is highest in net returns, followed by spot application and foliar applications. The same trend as that of the yield. Okay. And see, when we see the another factor, that is a soil studies or the soil nutrient status. See from all the 4 years, the mean of the 4 years or the fourth year, there is an increase in the fertility level of the soil when we have an in situ incorporation of sunhemp. This is the one very good information. Out of that, you have the increased N efficiency and fertility also increased. That is the final conclusion of this trial. Even you can increase the nutrient use efficiency, and also you can increase the fertility of the soil by in situ incorporation. That is, the T7 is the best treatment that you can use along with increased N-use efficiency. That is the final conclusion. So coming to the compact cotton, that's what I was telling about the compact cotton previously. This compact cotton concept was in America and China. They are following on the compact cotton. They grow even 1.5 lakhs to 2 lakhs population per hectare. But what is our recommendation? What is our population? That is the important point. Just you can just see the different row systems and the planting system that is mostly followed in the southern or even in the central part of the country. See, the plant populations are maximum of 55,555 when it is 2 by 1, and the recommended spacing of 90 by 60 or in many times 120 by 60, which is usually followed in many parts of the country. The plant population is around 13 to 18,000. So how to increase the population even from 18,000 to 1.5 lakhs or 2 lakhs? Is it an easy task? It is not easy task. It's a very hectic. But thing is that we need a plant type that is suited to sow these at a very high density. So see, actually, when you reduce the population, when you reduce the spacing from 60-30 to 60-20, you can increase 150% population. And again, when you further, if you change the row spacing to 10 centimeter intra-row spacing, the population will increase up to 300%. So this is the concept wherein you can increase even 150 to 300% plant population. So like that, when you are following 75 by 30, you can increase 150% population by just reducing the intra-row spacing. So it is 150% and this is 300%. 300% you can increase like that. 90 by 30 and 55,000 to 1 lakh 11,000. 150 to 300% you can increase. See, actually, see when we are thinking about these compact cotton, they are mostly used the varieties, not the hybrids. In developed countries, they used varieties instead of the hybrids. That is why you can make use of the varieties. So we need to develop the varieties. We have not yet developed the varieties. Whatever the varieties for the last 10 years we developed from the breeding division, we could able to achieve only up to 20% of the increased yield over the present yields. That is the problem of high density planting and compact cotton. Because this compact cotton, the concept is not fitting in our country because it is a indeterminate crop. Whenever it has a moisture levels, whenever it has a nutrient levels, the cotton will rejuvenate to any level. If the fertility levels of the soils are more, it indeterminate or indefinitely it protrudes its branches and it produces the reproductive structures. That is the plus point. But in the varieties that is developed by these developed countries like China and America, they have the plant types, very small types, and they will be fitted in a very narrow spacing, and we can produce even up to 60 to 80 quintals per hectare. But our productivity levels are only 25 to 30 quintals per hectare, like that. And based on this concept, there are many studies undertaken by the different centers of the country. And see, here the 67 by Bathinda is the northern, in the northern zone, Bathinda, and they have 67 by 10, 67 by 15, 67 by 20, and 67 by 60 is their recommended plant populations. Here, the productivity from 22 to 27 and 27 quintals per hectare, it's only nearly above only 20% yield increase was observed. See, when you see these white boxes, they are significantly higher in that respective centers. See, Bathinda, Akola, Nanded, Rahuri, Surat, Nandyal, Dharwad, and Coimbatore. So in all these centers, we could able to achieve a higher density planting. High density planting to some extent, some are about 150% and some are 300% also. So we could able to achieve, but the yield difference is very less. And that too in the southern region, especially the Dharwad and Coimbatore, we could not able to achieve still less, or there is no significant difference in the yield with the higher population. We have no advantage in especially Coimbatore and Dharwad. Only in the central zone we could able to achieve about 10 to 20%. So like that, see, we have in some other zones, some other centers, Faridkot, Surat, Nanded, Dharwad, and Raichur. See, again, this Raichur and Dharwad, there is no much advantage with the high density planting. This is because we are still needs to work on the plant types. Plant types. We wanted a plant types which can fit well to yield more. Whenever we see for the last 5-6 years, when I worked with this high density planting with the available varieties, it grows very large, very tall without any fruiting structures. So we lose the fruiting structures when it is grown in a very high density. That is why we are failing in high density, especially in southern zone. Coimbatore, even in some trials in Nandyal and Guntur and in Coimbatore, we are unable to produce high yields with high density planting. And I think it's a very good assignment for any PG students. You can work, provided you should get a plant type which can suit to yield high yields for high density planting. That is the objective. So coming to this organic cotton, this is the organic cotton. We are talking much about the organic cotton in the entire world. This eco-friendly is coming everywhere, not only for the food production, even for our dressing, clothing, textile industry. Everything is taking an advantage of this eco-friendly cotton. But what is about the status of this organic cotton production in the country and how it responds? That we can just study it in different centers of the country, and what is the inference, just you can see. We have these different treatments we have generated with applications of organics equivalent to inorganics, and we have seed treatment, we have the neem cake applications, and we have sun hemp in situ incorporation in the treatments, and we have intercropping of cotton with green gram or any other pulses, short duration pulses, and we have the combinations of these treatments. See, in all these cases, we have followed the organic pest control measures and disease control measures here. And just see in almost in so many centers, see the control of inorganic applications were almost given the highest. And in some centers, it is showing recommended nutrient applications equivalent, organics application equivalents. No other treatments were showing significant. Only thing is that there is a possibility. There is a possibility to grow organic cotton in hirsutum cotton. It is a hirsutum cotton. It means that whatever the BT cotton that is available, it is all a hirsutum cotton, not the deshi cotton. This is a hirsutum cotton, and but it is a variety. It's not a hybrid. It's a variety we have practiced. So coming to the same, when we have the advantage of yield, but we have, when we see the economics, net returns and BC ratio, in most of the cases, the almost all the centers, there is no advantage. Only one or two center where they have the advantage equivalent to nutrient application, equivalent to organics. It is showing the advantage. And some centers, in most of the centers, there is no much advantage in any of the treatments. So the inference is that it's very difficult to grow cotton under organic situations. That is the inference. Where it is with any type of treatments, because nowadays organic farming is gaining a movement in the entire country, but nobody knows where to bring the organics. And the farmers are well aware that if they grow organically, they will produce a good eco-friendly material. But many farmers, they follow the organic situations, but in most of the cases, the animals, whatever the animals that is required for organic farming, they are all deficient now. Nobody is interested for maintaining the animals, but everybody is after machines. That is why our organic movement in the country, it is now failing because of that concept. And again, here when the organic cost of the organics were increased, it will be defeated in the economics. We cannot able to produce the economically viable yield when it is organically grown. That is the message we can make. And again, you can just see the some more centers from Siviliputtur, Raichur, Nandyal, Dharwad, and Coimbatore. In most of the cases, this inorganic fertilizer application is produced the highest, and it is sometimes it is on par with the organic based three equivalents. So in Nandyal, Dharwad, and Coimbatore. But what happened? Their economics, again, when we see the economics, these only have produced significantly highest when we have the inorganic fertilizer application is economically viable. Only our Dharwad center, we could able to produce organic cotton with intercropping of green gram. See, here we produced more of green gram than cotton, and we could make it profitable. We could able to make it profitable, and the long run, in about 5 years data, it is found promising. If you grow, if you want organic cotton, which is economically viable, you have to grow along with some intercrops and you produce something. which can substitute the loss of yield in cotton. That is the message that we can say, give here. So this is again another advantage is that at some centers the soil fertility status is increased. The organic cotton production in the Raichur and Dharwad, and we see the soil nutrient status, there is an advantage of soil organic carbon. That is another one good important message. So I think everybody knows that if we add more of the residues to the cotton, to the soil, we definitely increase the soil organic carbon. And I think you might have read from your all studies that this carbon cultivation, it is practiced in the developed countries. Just it is because that we have to add more of organics to the soil. That is the message. And coming to the alone Dharwad Center, we have the data for from 5 years, 2016 to 21. We could able to produce the cotton equivalent yield. Cotton equivalent yield we calculated because we have the advantage of intercropping of cotton with green gram here. We have nearly when it is added T11 when it is the seed treatment with the recommended biofertilizers and the neem cake and the intercropping with this green gram, it is showing the equivalent yield which is on par with the inorganic fertilizers. So when we calculate the economics gross return, net return and BC ratio, this particular treatment we could able to produce organic cotton. That is the message we are giving it to the entire country, and we delivered this into the package of practices of Karnataka. Okay. So it is very difficult. If anybody wants to grow cotton organically, it is very difficult and not possible. And economically, it is not viable when it is tried in the entire country. So, but again, the soil organic carbon and available nitrogen has an advantage, especially for the treatments where we have applied the residues. Where we have applied the organics, only have the increased soil organic carbon and N content. So no doubt the organic cultivation, it improves the soil fertility, it adds up the nitrogen and carbon, organic carbon in the soil. That is another important message. So we have another trial with G arboreum cotton. See, you might have heard the 4 species of cotton. Among that, 2 species, G arboreum and G herbaceum, are called as the Deshi cotton. G hirsutum and G barbadans, they are called as the New World cotton or American cottons. See, always only after the independence or the invention of this new world of America, we could able to bring this hirsutum cotton to the entire world. Like that, it's a very new one, not more than about 200 years old, this hirsutum and Barbadans cotton. Especially these cottons, they have a high productivity potentiality, and with the quality of cotton production, they have that character. So whatever the characters we can pull from genetic breeding, that we can able to harvest a better quality of cotton with the different hybrids and with different varieties. What is arboreum cotton is having a very less potential. It can able to produce only about 10 quintals or 10 to 15 quintals per hectare. That is the productivity. And we tried with the different organics. See the FOM application with 10 tons and the seed treatment, and it has produced the 4 years data on par with the control or RDF applications. Even in arboreum cotton also, we could able to grow the cotton on par with the inorganic nutrient applications only when we have equivalent to see the 10 tons of FOM. But the same time, the net returns were defeated. Net returns were defeated when it is compared with inorganic fertilizer. It means to say that inorganic fertilizers are cheaper than your FOM or organic sources. That is the message that we can give to everybody. Okay. And this is another one is conservation agriculture is again another important area where in many centers they have done this conservation agriculture research. And this is one from Faridkot in the northern zone. They have done for one is the residue applications. So there are two crops here. One is the wheat crop and another one is the cotton crop. See, they have added wheat residues and sometimes the cotton residues. So, and another factor is the tillage. Tillage factor is that you either you go for a no tillage or minimum tillage or traditional tillage like that. So the inference of this study is that see wherever you apply more of the residues to the cotton, there is an increase in the productivity of cotton rather than any tillage practices. If you make, if you reduce the tillages, there is no much advantage in cotton production. But if you reduce the residues addition to the soil, there is a significant reduction in the yield. That is the best message we can give it from these studies. So this is a maybe this is a 1 year trial, but from the multi locations, when we tried in the different locations of the country, we have the same message observed. Okay, this is Faridkot, and you can see this is a Batinda from the northern zone. See the seed cotton, wherever we have application of these residues, those data is on par. Those data is on par. On par means the same. Statistically, they are same. So that is the number of bolls or the seed cotton yield. And this is an important message wherein the residue applications to the crop is more important than a tillage, because it's a very long duration crop, very deep rooted crop. Hence, even if you save some tillages, there is no much difference. But there is an advantage with only the cost of cultivation. That is the message. And this is again Rahuri. Again, this is another trial wherein the permanent bed system with zero tillage and 50% residue management, or the 100% residue management of wheat, it is showing a very good yield, net returns and cost benefit ratio. So again, the same message that we can give, that this conservation, tillage and residue manipulation or residue application is having a more important for cotton production than your tillage. And again in Junagadh also, it is showing the similar tendency. So coming to the multiple cropping advantages, see, actually the farmer cultivating the cotton production in the entire country is not in the profit range. Many times when we discuss with the farmers, what they tell is that we have no profit in cotton production. Why? It is because farmers are increased with their cost of cultivation. The market price is uncertain. When we calculate the cost benefit ratio and the net returns, and actually it's very difficult for the farmer. Only the last year rates are advantageous for the farmers as compared to the previous. Suddenly the 5,000 to 6,000 rupees quintal cotton kapas was increased to 8 to 10,000 rupees per quintal. Then was become the profit. Because of the weather problem, especially the 2021 and 22, it is severely affected on the income of the farmer. Only because of the price structure in the country, the farmers are protected. Based on that, 2022 area is slightly matched because of the prices. Again, this 22, it is not becoming a very advantage for the farmer because of the reduced prices. Cotton Corporation of India, it is not procuring the cotton, and the farmer, whatever he sells in the market, it is based on the demand driven. Demand driven means if there is more demand, price will increase. If the demand is reduced, price will come down. That is nothing, it is related. Indian market is a very simple, it is a demand driven market. That is why we could not able to maintain the market price in the entire country. That's the See, but how to increase the profit margin of a farmer? See, that was the big question, and we have generated some of the multiple cropping systems. These multiple cropping systems are something different than our previous thinkings. We have a previous thinkings that we should grow some intercrops in between, and we should produce an additional income. Either the main crop fails or the intercrop fails, you should get the profit. But the cotton, when we see the cotton habitat of the cotton, its growth in the early stage is very less. See, we could able to, and it is widely spaced crop. See, whenever we grow any intercrop in between and that matures early, within 50 days or 60 days, you can profitably cultivate the crop. Based on that, many centers, they have chosen the intercrops as the short duration pulses, short duration, any of these leguminous crops, and they have tried for their cost benefit ratio. So I think you understood the difference between the intercropping of cotton with other crops. Okay. So here just you can see this from the different locations. See what has been done in this trial is see they have intercropped cotton and make it a paired row. Paired row, when we have the paired row, the distance between the two rows is more advantageous to grow in between rows. So that is why, without affecting the planting density or the plant population per unit area, we could able to grow the intercrops in between, and different intercrops. A may be green gram, B may be black gram, and C may be soybean. So here what we have done, two rows of green gram or two rows of black gram and two rows of soybean is grown. In addition to that, we have A plus B, B plus C, C plus A, like that also. One row of A and one row of B. One row of B plus one row of C. Like that also we tried, just to see the interaction effect of this cotton with these, any combination of these intercrops. Many stations, they have a different outcome from these studies. See, some centers, they have the green gram, it is showing an increased equivalent yield and net returns. We have in all these cases, the sole cotton production is significantly lower than any of these intercrops. That is another message we can give you. Any time in any centers, the intercropping equivalent yields are much better than sole cotton. That is the advantage. And in many cases, the recommended practices are becoming more advantageous, especially the short duration. In our center, we have a very short duration green gram and vegetable beans, and we have tried with the this coriander. So all these will harvest in about 30 to 40 or 50 days. So farmer is getting about 25 to 50,000 rupees per hectare extra income out of the total that he gets from cotton. That is the main concept here. But in many cases, what we have studied earlier is that these intercrops, it may have effect on the cotton. Many times when you grow intercrops in between cotton, cotton is affected when the intercrop is having a longer duration. So if the duration of the crop reduces, the effect on the main crop will certainly reduce. That is why farmer may accept it. See, even though we have a very good net returns and equivalent yield, farmers are very reluctant to follow this technology. Why? You may be astonished. Even though farmer is getting an advantage out of this, why he doesn't follow it? It's a very big question, and we have to sit here and analyze why. What is the problem? Then what is the location specific intercrop that he can grow? That is the day of the research that is required for us, all of us. What best crop we can grow in between cotton, and the available, based on the available growing crops in the location. That is a very good technique, and we are successful in at least in deriving the technology and adopting at least in about 4 or 5 villages of our Dharwad Dharwad nearby villages, we could able to convince that the short duration vegetables or the short duration any intercrops are successful and they can be grown in cotton. That is the message we have made. And just you can see this Akola, Junagadh and Kandwa. And again from Surat, Nanded and Lam Guntur. So all these centers, the one of these intercrops, they are showing an advantage. The white boxes, they are showing significantly an improvement over their soul cotton. See, they are, that is why. And again, when you see this is a Dharwad center, we have again the same treatments, and here we have the recommended cotton green gram. It is a normal planting cotton green gram and cotton beans were compared. See, when we have tried with this paid row planting, there are many advantages with this gross returns, but only we have this cotton plus green gram in the normal planting, which is earlier recommended, and it is showing a highest seed cotton, cotton equivalent yield, gross return, net return, and BC ratio. That is the message out of this. And it's a very good intercrop, and you cannot beat the income out of this intercropping system. So this is again one more study is made at the different centers on the biostimulants. These biostimulants now already they are in the market. These biostimulants definitely it helps for the better growth and reproduction. These biostimulants we tried, and in many centers they have directly given irrespective of its composition what it is made out of. Without the information they have done it. And these biostimulants especially that is sprayed around 45, 60 and 75 days, 3 sprays, it could able to harvest significantly higher, and nearly about 20% yield advantage is found when we sprayed these biostimulants, 3 sprays in many centers. Okay, like that. And we have one more studies on drought and excess rainfall remedies. I think uh, you may be seen 2019, 2020, 2021. These 3 years rainfall data is excess almost in the entire southern part of the country. We have almost in many centers we still see that the rainfall in the Kharif season, especially up to the end of October or November, we have an excess rainfall years. So, but at the same time, these excess rainfall, it sometimes it has affected many other crops, but it is affected less on cotton. That we are sure about this cotton. And the second aspect is that we have experienced the moisture stress period, especially from November and December and January. These 3 months we have not received any single millimeter of water, rainfall, which can contribute for production. That both experiences were there. That is why an experiment was framed to study excess rainfall and drought situation, especially the eco-friendly or the present climatic situation. These type of experiments are required. Okay, so just see the from different locations, and one is this is a Akola, and we have a Khandwa, and we have no much there is a difference with the different land shaping. Under excess rainfall years we have the land shaping like broad bed furrow, ridges and furrows, and the farmers practice. And we have a glycine butane and salicylic acid. These are the chemicals that is used especially for drought management situations. They are also given at some centers. This glycine butane or salicylic acid, it is showing a very good advantage. So this is not much important because this is all an extremities of weather. Whether this year we will receive an excess rainfall or the more rainfall, we don't know. Less rainfall or more. Already the El Nino effects were broadcasted by the meteorology department that there is a stress period, especially in the month of June. June is a stress period, which you may not get a normal rainfall. That is the message already given by the Indian Meteorological Department. Okay. So again, this is from Dharwad. We have no much advantage of the land shaping, but only we have a glycine butane that is showing a response under stress conditions. Okay. So this is also for Raichur and Coimbatore. Again, the difference is much with the land. Sometimes it is land shaping, and sometimes with the different this nitrogen and potassium applications they have taken as a remedy for drought mitigations in some centers. So one more study we have taken for critical stages. Sometimes after drought and excess rainfall, we have an irrigation. Where this irrigation is having a very limited scope. Limited scope means when we have a very limited water for irrigation, we need to understand the crop. What is the best remedy to understand about the crop? That is the objective of this study. So we have 4 years of studies of this critical irrigations. See the square formation, flowering, and bowl development. These three were considered as the most critical stages. When we have only one irrigation facility, you can able to go for which stage is best. When we have two irrigations, which stage is best. When we have unlimited water, which is the best. So this when we have an unlimited water of three and more irrigations, we could be able to harvest the same yield. But when we have only two irrigations, either you can give at flowering and bowl development or square formation and flowering. Especially this this square formation is having a less responsive compared to flowering and bowl development. That is the message. So you can just see another important aspect is here. This is a water use efficiency. When we have less number of water applications, we have a more water use efficiency when it is compared with more number of irrigations. It is the representation. So the water use efficiency is reduced when we have more number of irrigations. So this is again a drip irrigation studies wherein we have made it water applications with nutrient applications in this fertigation and water requirement. So it has shown the application of water 0.6, 0.8 and 1 ET. So it is 1 ET has given the significantly highest with seed cotton yield, net returns and VC ratio. And like that we have when we have a fertigation of 100% RDN, it is showing a best one. So but interactions again the I3F1 is showing a best. This is not much important. Only thing is that this drip irrigation best suits for cotton. I can say that drip irrigation best suits for cotton, and whenever there is a facility of drip irrigations, we can save the water to the extent of nearly about 30 to 40%. It is almost proved. And again, fertigation studies were also proved that N and K nutrients can be applied through fertigation. That is the best message we can. So coming to some of the post-emergent herbicides are not available in cotton. Post-emergent herbicides, only we have the problem of cotton weeds. It comes only in the high rainfall area, irrigated belts. Under that situation, we need some post-emergent herbicides. Nowadays, farmers are demanding post-emergent herbicides. These herbicides, whatever we are using now, it is a pre-emergent, and when the weeds are free or when it is pre-emergent applications are made just after sowing. When you feel that the farmer is reluctant to use these pre-emergent herbicides because the land is clear. Under that situation, he is very reluctant to use the pre-emergent herbicides. But when we see the weeds in the crop and when we could not able to protect the crop, we need post-emergent herbicides, especially in many crops. Now these post-emergent herbicides were coming up, and one such one is pyrethiobac sodium. It works for both monocot and dicot weeds, and it can able to give or produce on par with the weed-free check. So this is again 3 years data, and this is almost a study made by a PhD student, and he incorporated this study in the package of practice. So this is a very good. This pyrethiobac sodium, which acts on both monocot and dicots, and this Quislopop, which majorly acts on the monocot weeds. So both together, when it is applied as a pre-emergent herbicide, it can effectively control the weeds up to critical stages of crop weed competition. I think you might have studied for different crops. This critical period of crop weed competition is different, and for cotton it is 50 days. If you don't protect the crop up to 50 days, yields will be affected. That is the message. So coming to, this is all about the technologies, what I wanted to tell you, recent technologies. I think, sir, I have a time, or shall I? Huh? See, I will go very fast. See, actually, the problems of cotton cultivations in the country, there are many. See, why the yields are less, and why we could, how we could able to achieve this. So, general low fertile soils are low fertility, soil fertility is less. Since because the cotton is cultivated and it is very deep rooted, and it absorbs more nutrients, it needs to be replenished with the more nutrients. That is why the yield losses are more in the cotton growing areas. And the weed menace is also very high. See, the cotton, especially BT cotton, whenever it is grown in the high rainfall area or in the irrigated tracts. In that situation, the weed problems are more. So hence, it should be protected by a very suitable weed protection conditions. Leaf reddening is another problem. Leaf reddening, I think you may be knowing, the cotton leaf reddening is a very serious problem, and it is this leaf reddening occur in the winter and dry and cold weather, and the low fertile soil with magnesium and nitrogen deficiency. In most of the cases, it happens. Early senescence, leaf reddening leads to the early senescence of leaf, and there is a falling of leaves, and in many cases the bole opening will affected due to the source problem. In severe leaf reddening cases, there is no source chlorophyll that's available for the sink. That is why there is a no proper opening. And the square dropping is again a very severe problem in cotton, especially it occurs under different situations. Sometimes it occurs due to stress, moisture stress. It may occur due to the pest, excess rainfall, intermittent stress, and sudden rains, or any other sudden shock. It may lead to the leaf or square dropping. The square dropping ultimately will lead to the excess growth. There is a direct linkages in the cotton. When the squares drops, cotton suddenly it grows. It shifts from reproductive to vegetative growth. Under that situation, if it shifts from reproductive to vegetative growth, the cotton crop looks very good without any good number of poles or squares. That is the main problem of square dropping. So in the serious pests, we have previously we have a different pest. Now we have a different pest. Now presently we have a shoot weevil which comes in the early stage, and it affects the stem part, and the stem affected part will fall down. So you will not understand whether the pest is inside or not, and suddenly the crop collapses when it eats inside this shoot weevil. And the merit bugs, again, this merit bugs problem is from 2015 onwards. It is a very rampant, and now the farmers are facing these merit bugs. Whenever earlier the bollworms were affecting the crop, now it is merit bugs. They will inside the squares and they suck the sap. Whenever they suck the sap, due to the shocking effect, the squares will fall. And again, like that, the pink bollworm, about 25 years back, this problem of pink bollworm was just about 1 to 2%. Now the pink bollworm problem is around 20 to 25%. So you just imagine this pink bollworm, you will not able to experience when you enter the crop in a good condition. You will not experience only when the at the time of boll opening, then only you will experience that crop is damaged by pink bollworms. That is why this protection of this pest especially is very important. We need to monitor the pest. We need to monitor from 60 to 70 days onwards. We should give some prophylactic measures for control of this pest. Then only we can able to harvest a very good crop. This pink bollworm, I think it's a very serious pest nowadays, especially in Maharashtra, Gujarat, and Karnataka. This is a very, and we predicted about 25 years back this pink bollworm will have a very serious problem on cotton. So these are some of the serious pests. So some of the researchable issues I just told you, this high density planting in G. hirsutum varieties and hybrids. See, G. hirsutum varieties and hybrids, this high density planting we can do, but in hybrids we still needs to work out, because the hybrid seeds are very costly. Instead of one packet of seed, we need 6 packets of seed. Now the present cost of the seed is around 800 to 900 rupees per packet. Instead of 800 rupees, you need to spend 6 times more seed than what is being used by the farmers presently. That is why the cost of cultivation will increase. And if we have the advantage, then only we can use. That is why there are many companies, they have already done the high density planting and they have the seed in their pockets. So it may come out suddenly in the market and the farmer may use it without the notice of the university and the State Department of Agriculture also. So that is the fate. And that is why the CICR Nagpur and CICR Coimbatore, they have decided to give some of the demos on high density planting this year. Okay. So, and this high density planting along with the growth regulations, if the crop grows very robust, see, we can spray some of the growth regulators or growth inhibitors and we check the growth, and so that the plant restrict within that area that is assigned, and thereby we can increase the yield. That is another area of working. And we have more of machines nowadays for weedicide applications, intercultivations, drones for spraying, harvesting machines. These all were come nowadays. See, we wanted a very better designing of these machines and better working with the different machines, and the experiments are required to conduct all these by use of these machines. And another area is agronomic manipulations to reduce the pest incidence. See, we have many practices that we are doing without our knowledge by just way of manipulation of agronomy. See, maybe we have, see, you may be knowing that deep plowing will reduce the pest incidence. You may be knowing that deep plowing will reduce the weed menace. Like that, you have to conduct the experiments and prove that how it has an advantage on crop productivity. So you need to study this. Like that, we know that crop rotations will protect the crop. How it protects the crop? What is the exact calculations of these crop rotations on crop productivity? These all calculations are required. And the crop holiday means without growing any crop, if you keep a fallow, how it affects on the productivity or the pest incidence of cotton. So this is again a agronomic practice. And intercropping, you may be knowing there are many trap crops. There are many trap crops which can trap the pests. Many traps. For example, bendi. Cotton in bendi, it traps many pests, especially this shoot weevil it traps, and it traps the Helicoverpa armigera, and it traps the other pests also. So if you grow these traps in between, at least one in 20 rows in one in every one row in 20 rows of cotton, you can reduce it. To what extent, how much we can, how it is to be done, how trap crops. That also you may have a very good study, location specific studies. These banker crops, I think you may be knowing the banker crops are the one which can act as a banks for multiplication of the natural enemies. You may be knowing what is a natural enemy. Natural enemy is the one which can protect the crop by eating the real pests of crop. So like that, you can make a banker crops and multiply the natural enemies. And we have the border crops. Border crops means you can grow on either on all side of the borders, and you can protect many crops like a tall growing crops like sorghum and maize like that, so that the crop can be very easily like that. So like that we have location specific drip and fertigation studies. We studied an enlargement in a long area.